Okay, class number 19, we're going to be working on passing the guard today. And with that, we're going to get some really cool concepts that we get to explore on posture, okay? But outside of that, we're also going to see some round kick defense. So last few classes, we really got into front kick defense. A lot of fun with that, a lot of cool options and drills. And with this, we'll be defending round kicks to the leg and body, okay? And we'll see in next couple of classes, you know, a high kick defense. And by the time you get through those classes, you'll have a really great overview of ways to defend against a round kick, okay? So our takedown today will be off of that round kick defense. And, you know, that'll be where we're at. But first off, we're gonna do something from our knees for a warm up, okay? So in Japanese martial arts, a lot of times this is referred to as sawari waza, which means kneeling techniques, okay? We call them here in the United States, in the state of Arkansas, knee walkers, okay? So check this out here. I used to always think that this was for takedowns. And then I actually saw a group of like white belts showing this and explaining it that way. They're like, okay, let's do shots from the knees. You could think about it that way, right? It's totally different if you're thinking about takedowns. I think about it for Jiu-Jitsu as the guard pass, and it's specifically the guard pass we're doing today. So what we do is we get with one knee here, it's like our 4-point base, but from kneeling. Look how this knee is this way, and this knee is this way, okay? So you've got vertical alignment here and here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my knee down and I'm gonna come up here. Okay. Good. Now watch me do just a set this so you can get a 3D. So here. You want it to be very smooth and controlled. And this really is great for stretching out your toes as well. Okay, so nice and smooth and controlled. Go. Slow. There, that was better. Nice and slow. Good. So again, lay here on your back, please. This is more like a guard pass than a double leg. Watch. There, right? And if I wanted to complete the pass, I could do that, or whatever. All right, we saw that on one of our takedowns when we were going over single and double leg takedowns in those classes, you know. So with this, we do that knee walker with the guard passing all the time. Like one of the main ways to pass guard is to cut your knee through their legs like that, okay? So that'll be the guard passing we get into. So those kneeling techniques are vital, all right? Now, let's go ahead and get into the round kick defense. So we don't wear shin pads in this class, and you know, we're not like gonna be in beginner jiu-jitsu class like in traditional martial arts. They call it the makawari. It's the thing. It's the big piece of wood you hit your knuckles. Like there's one in like Karate Kid where they go to Okinawa and stuff. Like it's like a part of martial arts mythology, if you will, right? We're not doing that to our shins in this class, right? But we're gonna use the padded sticks. This is a cool way to sort of simulate round kicks without going like shin on knee or my foot kicking your knee or my ankle going against your shin. We wanna avoid that stuff in this class, but we got other classes where we would do just that, you know, or we might put shin pads on, or, you know, it comes up. We spar, we do other things in other classes. Here we're just trying to learn how to defend the round kick. And we can get hardcore with it later on once you have it all down. So with this, let's start off with the round kick defense to the leg. What we do on a round kick to the leg, and today we're just gonna be standing like this. Okay, yeah, and you can just have hands down for now. But I'm looking to kick your leg right here, okay? And we have talked about this in a previous class, but it's exactly the opposite of what we talked about a couple classes ago when we're defending front kicks to the groin. So if I'm coming here at the front kick to the boom, that. That's the inside version. And if somebody's trying to kick you right there above the knee, boom, yes, that would hurt so bad, right? There's one day Justin and I were out here like really playing with our push defense, and I kicked him kind of hard in the shin/knee with my foot, and I was like, ah! It made like a sound like somebody's knocking on your front door, you know? So with this kind of, it allows you to work on timing and placement, right? So what I'm gonna do is just try and don't even react here. I'm gonna try and hit you right there every time, okay? So yeah, you're just gonna be, you know, just nice and relaxed, and when the time comes, open up, right? Your foot can come off the floor a little bit, but we wanna go right back down the face. We're not trying to become a Thai fighter in here and check kicks and stuff like that by really looking traditional Thai boxing with it. We're trying to make you hit my bone with your weaker bones. People break their shins in the UFC and in other MMA organizations because they go bone on bone, right? That's the cause of that, right? So here, I'll go there, turn it out, good, turn it out, nice, good, turn it out, turn it out, good, nice. Okay, so, you know, when I teach this in some other classes, we talk about destroying or destruction is what, I mean, this is kind of the mainstream term for it. If I want to, you know, target your shin as you're trying to kick me, I'll do something like that, right? I'll come up and out and come into it, right? So that's a more advanced application on this. But, you know, we're not going to be doing that just from here, just boom, just pop that knee out, okay? So I'm gonna come at a kick from you, and you can have hands up on this one, okay? And you're just in your neutral base here with your feet square, right? You could be in a neutral with your feet staggered. Like here, I'm just kind of standing this, like, so let's say I'm standing square this way, right? And then I notice in my peripheral somebody coming up, boom. Now I'm in 4-point base this way, right? My hips have turned. So you kind of have some perspective on angles there. But just in a square stance, your hands are up, right? And like you've been able to establish that, you know, just kind of just like your guard for jiu-jitsu. So I'm gonna go to kick, and you, boom, yes, boom, yeah. See, at first when I was like, oh, right, boom, nice. I don't even want to kick you because I know it sucks, right? There's somebody, the new person in class, they don't know it sucks yet, and they come up, and that first time, boom! Like I said, like Justin and I just playing with the other day, and I have super conditioned shins. We're just like, oh, ow, right? You don't want to kick somebody in the shin. It doesn't matter who you are. So you just got to be careful with that. Like that's, you know, just kind of some safety tips. So that's blocking the round kick to the leg. Now let's go over round kick to the body, right? Now, with this, we're gonna need to go over some details on when we go to block, we're gonna block like this, okay? So, yeah, so this is gonna come up, and then this is gonna brace, right? So, like, it's gonna be here. Okay, and then there it would be here, 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 okay? So that's gonna be what we're gonna start with, right? And that's just kind of like what that's gonna do is that's gonna deflect it. And in the sense that you're kind of absorbing it a little bit. Anytime that, like, if for example, throw a punch here at my face, right? If I just touch it a little bit, it loses so much steam. It's crazy. Like if I touch it before it hits me in the face, I don't really care if it glances me after that. Like it's not gonna have the power to damage. Okay, so that's something that we want to think about. If I can do that to your kick before it gets to me, that's what we're after. Okay. Now we are gonna do this from just neutral stance, and as we go through other classes, we'll add and be doing this from some different perspectives like we have been, okay? So we're gonna be here and just go ahead and, get with the leg back and give me a kick to the body right here. Just nice and control, good, all right? One more, good, give me a kick to the body here. Good, one more. Okay. So that's what we're dealing with, right? So let's go for that again, okay? Just your rear leg. Boom. Right there, right? So what I'm trying to do is hit that knee before the kick reaches me. Okay, go on this side. Boom. On this side. Boom. This side. Boom. Okay, so that's the defense. We're just here, 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 okay? And I'm showing it there from here. We just go hands down, boom, boom, right? They're kicking at your body. Back to this sort of analysis of what the algorithm gives you, right? Is like in street fights, like I did see one recently on video where a guy was just like, you could tell he trained Thai boxing, was just obliterating this guy with leg kicks. Like he had technique, the other guy didn't. Then you see people throw kicks that have no technique at all. And it's some sort of a weird front side round kick hybrid, right? That sort of thing, right? Yeah, so it's like, what we have to be able to craft through going through this stuff is the ability to, decipher like, okay, that's kind of coming from this angle. Not it's this kick, like, okay, I see from, coming up from this quadrant here, like, oh, I'm gonna deal with that like a round kick, right? And that may, it may look a little bit like a front kick or something crazy, right? Like, and you can plan for that once you have the techniques, right? It's like, okay, now I can adapt. Like the whole, one of the core tenets of self-defense is being able to adapt. Right? It's not going to be like you want it to be in a street fight. In a real altercation, there'll be tons of stuff that happens that you're like, didn't anticipate that one. Like whatever it is, like maybe somebody pulls your hair out a little bit, like grabs a handful and gets a little handful of it, pulls it out. Maybe maybe you break a bone or nose or finger or toe or something crazy, So you just never know. It could be minor, but it's like those sort of things are like, oh, we're going to do these techniques and they're going to do this. And then you don't account for like damage, how tired you get, right? So we want to be able to process those things because, okay, I'm not having to put all this energy into my jiu-jitsu techniques. I'm defending myself. That's the whole goal. It's not resuscitation of techniques, okay? Recitation of techniques. So round kicks to the body. I'm gonna go on those with you, but I want to do with the padded sticks first, and then we'll do with the shins. Okay.
And are you shrugging whenever you're doing
this? No. What? Bring your chin halfway to your shoulder, and your shoulder halfway to your chin. Okay. So here. All right. So here. Yeah. Okay. You can have hands up, just two. All right, remember, just kind of like, hey, can I? Like you have it. It's the intermediary to bringing your hands up. Okay. We talk about this in a couple classes, like the front kick defense. Like I'm here, boom, just like that. Okay. So here, it's like my next move is going to be this, but we have to explore every part of that little tunnel, right? I'm here. I'm not trying to fight right now. Like, am I going to have to fight? It looks like I'm going to have to fight. I'm about to fight. I am fighting, right? If I have to do this, I am fighting, right? Everything else is like, it looks like I might have to, and then that's what we're doing. It's like a little continuum. So let's go back with this, blocking, boom. Good, okay? That's the core idea. And look, that's just the first movement. Like what we do after that is we catch, okay? So let's go over that real quick, but block on my shins a couple of times, and what I'm wanting you to do is try and touch my leg before the kick gets around. Boom. Yes. Boom. Yeah, if it like there, you hit my knee before my shin hits you, right? Like what's gonna be bad is if you don't hit my knee at all and my shin buries in there, right, into your body a little bit, okay? So what we're trying to do is before, that shin gets to my body, boom, knee. We're gonna touch that knee first, okay? Boom, yes. That's it. That's it, okay?
Are you adding weight into it, or are you just walking it?
Yes. Like at this point, we're just absorbing,
Okay.
right? And now, what we're gonna do is like when we go, next class we'll go in with some of the hands up, right? And you'll see that like when my hands are up and I do this, it's a little different, right? What'll happen is like this, okay? If I had the opportunity to go my hands up, we'll do this. Just like, we do throw punch, just like that, right? We talked about deflecting with the forearms against the front kick, like that, okay? So, again, we'll explore this further, but good questions. So when we go with this front kick to the body, or the round kick to the body rather today, we're also doing this for a specific takedown, right? So in this program, you get some sequences that, like I taught one of them in noon class the other day. Hip throw, which I haven't done this in this class yet, but in this program. We did hip throw, knee on belly, figure four arm. It was a sequence. Today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do round kick defense. It's a single leg takedown, right? And then we're gonna finish with the figure four ankle lock, okay? So what we're looking to do here is I'm gonna catch this, right? So give me a kick to the body, go ahead. Like this, right? Now we're doing that off of this deflection, okay? Now, with this, okay, go ahead. Okay. So I'm moving quickly from here to here. That's all I've got time to do is kind of the idea. I wasn't in a mobile base. So once I'm here, because of where I was focused at, being here, right, here. Now, what I have to do is turn directly towards the camera here, right? So, like, a lot of times people like step in and step back. The main thing I want to do is like good connection here to my body and then turn. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be between the legs. And just like when we do the tug of war drill with the belt, right? We see this also on the knee bar that we saw from the pickup defense last class, right? We're gonna turn with that. Now I wanna keep this figure four grip here, and I turn, and this is all, see this, my hip here is gonna be what shears that lock, okay? Now, I'm just bracing here on your thigh, right? Like that, okay? So, what you're doing is you're catching, right? And then I'm like that, okay? Now from there, all you're gonna do is once you have this, is you're gonna turn. When you turn like that, like, so look here, if I'm in a square base here, and I turn, now I'm in like more of my 4-point base. But it's that very offensive / defensive, like, okay, I'm in defensive posture and I'm executing techniques from my stance, right? So with this, that'd be like on the tug of war drill with the belt, or what you see from the side clinch, is that you have to turn your knee in to maintain base. So that's what you're gonna do here, but it's not just to maintain base, it's also to add the hip to leverage the lock. Look at when I turn on that, like I got the leg here, when I turn here, my hip's coming up under me all at once, okay? And my foot will be into the mat here, and this will be bracing against the thigh, okay? So let's go ahead and catch the round kick to the body, right? And do it this way. We'll just do the same side. Block, block, and then on that third time, catch it, and we'll do a couple of catches, and then that we'll do, on that third time we'll do turn and take down. If you have everything in order, As soon as you turn, you went down, right? Like it's just a whoa. There's no slack there. You just and you turn. You connect them to you, and you turn. They will go down. Okay. So here and good, 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 nice. Yeah, and then grab your own wrist. Okay, good, and let go of that. Let's have figure 4 grip. Okay, and block and grab again. Good. And it's right there. Good. Now, block, grab, and you're going to turn your hips straight to the back of the room. Okay. Block, grab. Yes. Okay. Turn your hips that way now, and brace your knee against my thigh, and then bring your hips into. Connect your elbows tight. Yes. And then hips forward. Yes.
Touching a little on the ankle there, does it need to slide up or?
You made a good adjustment. You need to be all the way at the end of the foot, and you kind of pulled that slack out, right? So lay down, please. So you can kind of explore this, and I've heard this talked about, and I read it in a book recently, right? It's a older, like a Gracie submission book, right? But talking about that when you go down on this, it's like this little sequence, like one of the fundamental in history of jiu-jitsu self-defense sequences, right? So when they fall down, I can kind of take that slack out a little bit if I need to, right? But if it's your first time seeing it, harder to do all of that on the first try, right? But like here, you're gripping, and we want to here, and look how, I don't want my heel on the mat. What I'm doing is I'm bracing, and I'm turning, and I'm driving, and anchoring to you, right? So I'm connected there, right? So think about it as like, you know, sometimes you'll see this shown this way, right? And that'll make you almost turn belly down to preserve, right? But with here, we're just remaining standing, boom. Figure 4 straight ankle lock, okay? Super beginner, even in the sport of jiu-jitsu, the tournaments, that move is legal. All of the other leg locks are not legal for white belts, right? Knee bars, toe holds, heel hooks, you know, and straight ankle lock, good to go, good to go. So, catch it, wrap it, turn. Knee on the thigh, more on the back of my thigh, yes. And turn, when you do that, really drive with your foot on the mat, hips forward. Yes. You start dragging me across the floor when you did that, right? I'm like my hips just subtly shifted. It's like you were more connected to me. So again, just figure 4 lock that again, okay? So, look, elbows tight to yourself. Yes. Now, everything stays right there. I want you to think about opening your chest and hips and turning that knee. Better, okay? Let's go again. Hips. Yes. You kind of, like I felt the pressure, and then you're like, oh, is it here? And then you're like, no, it's not, and then it was, right? Like but, you know, I call other black belts out for this because it's funny. And I was about to say it to you, so. But what you were doing out there is you're like, over time, your brain is like, what's going on? Like, he says this and it feels this way, but am I doing, does it feel that way when I do that? Is it there? Is it there? You don't really have the idea down for this exact sequence, right? Again, it's probably the first time you're seeing this exact one. So that being said, over time, when you become one of these, you gain what all the other black belts call sensitivity, right? It's okay, bro. You'll just get that sensitivity over time. I just recently, like I've heard 2 other black belts in different parts of the state say that, and I'm just like, that's what they all say, but it's true, okay? Over time you do. You learn these principles and you're like, oh, okay, this is the most efficient way to choke this person without expending all of my energy. Like we're talking earlier, like a power meter analogy. Like, hey, if you go to 7 and you can only go to 10, and then what they did is, they really turned it on, and you were at 7, and you needed to go up, but you couldn't max them anymore, right? Like you expended so much energy that you couldn't keep your power bar rising, right? So the great way to think about this is breathing on a technique, right? If I do something like a bridge and roll, and I'm like here, and I go, I have no air left to continue, and that happens to people every day, right? So I need to slow as possible, exhaling, or just small amounts of air, okay? So everything is about, conserving, preserving for as long as we can, okay? So that's survival. So good on the round kick, good on the takedown, and we will see a very similar sequence to that, because what happens a lot of times is you'll do this and there'll be some slack in the leg, their knee will be kind of bent, or they'll be hopping around, you don't have good connection or control. There's something great to do with that, and it's not the hip turn. We'll look at that on the takedown in next class, okay? So after this, all we have left to get into is passing the guard. Okay, so I told Micah before we started this part of the class, this is either the easiest or the hardest lesson to learn. It's posture, right? But posture is also like walking across the room with a book on your head, right? We talked about it earlier in this class, almost like a continuum, right? We're gonna do posture when someone has a closed guard around you, okay? So this is just a very vital skill to obtain, and a lot of times people do not I've met tons of people that were even black belts that don't know this lesson we're about to do, right? Posture and guard. Like Chris Howder, one of the first 12 American black belts in Jiu-Jitsu, and I literally had a conversation about this 2 months ago at his house, and he's like, oh yeah, used to no one knew that. Now Brian in Arkansas knows it. He's telling people about it on the video, right? He's like, but I used to get brought in everywhere to teach posture and guard seminars, right? And those are the guys that I've learned that stuff from. So posture and guard is very important, but it's difficult to gain an understanding of. It's sensitivity, right? So let's talk about this real quick. Let's get me and your closed guard right here. The first part of this is a drill, okay? So I'm just gonna get in my base, and right now my hips are over my heels, okay? And that's fine because Micah's not doing anything to me. It's closed guard, but as he moves forward on his power meter, right, as he starts to, go ahead and just pull me down. Yes, okay, so that's how you break posture and guard. We've seen that in other classes. I might be trying to hit you or something, but that's how you break posture and guard, okay? So as you start to pull me down, I came forward, right? And then you were like, oh, I need to pull more, but then you started getting unstable, right? And that's how the game is played. So it's about coming up off of my heels like this. Right here, I'm just sitting on my heels because that's what's comfortable, right? But as you start to engage, I come off my heels and my hips are rolling under me, right? I'm doing a pelvic tuck. And then my hips are kind of coming forward and up at a 45-degree angle, like that, right? Like if you watched, go ahead and release with your legs. You watch my hip from here to here. Watch how it's gonna come up over my knee, right? So if you tried to, like really sit up super fast and maybe do a sit-up sweep, boom. I gotta come all the way up, right? When somebody's trying to just break my posture, it's that. Okay, so I've got to be comfortable. A lot of people don't have the flexibility here, right? And so it's a real challenge for them. It's like, oh man, my thighs, right? And that will fatigue and be sore when you start doing this. A lot of people also will do live toes. You don't want to do live toes, okay? You get swept with live toes, it's gonna hurt, okay? So we want to have the tops of our feet on the mat. This is why, like, this is the iconic Seiza. This is what it's called. This is the martial arts sitting position. You know, like when I think about like somebody like a martial artist, you know, like sitting around the mat, like you go to, I'm just like, this is it. You'll notice like in like a lot of the videos, I'll be sitting like this, right, while I'm talking to people, right? So it's just like a good spot to you know, explore, because it's not just a place we sit in. Like I wonder why they started sitting this way, right? Like kneeling techniques. Now we have our triangle base, right? But I'm sitting on my heels, okay? I want to come up off my heels. And if I'm down on my heels, coming up off my heels could be just engaging my pelvic tuck just a little bit. Now I don't have all that weight sinking down, right? So like there, I'm just getting comfortable, stretching out my feet, right? So that's kind of the idea. So what you've got to be able to do is sit-ups, okay? So put me in close guard. We're going to do 5 sit-ups each. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a good pop. My name is pop. Yeah, it was me. All right, so now we played around with this a little bit. It's not as easy as it looks, guys. Okay, it literally took me a long time, because I've been taught to do other things. It took me a long time to figure this out. Okay. You're like, oh, I hope I retained what we did earlier. So get comfortable first. Like I said, it's just a position you sit in. We've got to be comfortable here. We're not even using our arms right now. We're using our posture. Shoulders back just a little bit. Okay, good. Let me feel that. When I pull like that, let me feel your hips. Yes. Now when I start pulling past that, you're gonna, and even at the beginning, you're gonna come up a little bit. Oh, that was close though, okay? We're not gonna count it. This is still 0 sit-ups. 1, 2, and I'm way heavier than you, so you know this works. Just put your arms up. 3, I believe I can fly. 4, like Leo on the Titanic. Right? Yeah, but this sort of, that is a posture in and of itself. Like when I hold someone in low mount and use the position as a submission, that's kind of what I'm doing to round my spine. Mm-hmm. And so they don't trap it on. I'm basing out and stuff, but it's like, you know, like, it's not just like, oh, okay, I'm pinching my shoulders in the back. It's, I don't want you to rely on your hands to understand posture, right? That's why, like, a lot of the stuff we're doing, it's just like, oh, hey, it's how you stand. Just stand this way right now. Stand that way. Hands here. Same thing here. We do need to rely on our posture, or in our hands with posture to break the guard. Okay? So, close guard on me. All right, so here, first let's talk about, like we mentioned, triangle with the legs, but dropping his hips like down in between my knees and then getting just a little pinch. Look, if your legs are, you feel how they're shaking? No, that's not what we want, right? I commented on like, I'm like, hey, you feel how you felt, got unstable right there, right, earlier. So it's just like, I'm trying to make people be in points of instability all the time, right? Like, oh, okay, I can't be strong here. That's just, you know, good application of leverage and strategy. So what I want to do is I want to wedge here with this hand, right? So it's going from his right inside of his knee here down to his hip, okay? And this hand is going to go right here. So let's turn to face here, right? Now, grab my gi sleeve with your hand there and pull it as It's hard, we got with both hands. Okay, now do it. Okay, my friend Jack calls this the mannequin hand. It comes up a lot, right? Like mannequins, you see them in the store now, right? But look, it's not. I'm not down. I need my hand to be slightly up, like this. Okay, so mannequin hand. Okay, so this is keeping your hips here, light pinch here. Now remember that pelvic tuck I was talking about? Boom, your guard's done. So this is the posture break. So if you can find and maintain posture and guard, this is a great second thing to do, because this is posture and guard. All I did was add these wedges here, boom, right there. Okay, so questions on the posture break before you try?
Pelvic tilt while with the mannequin hand thing?
Mannequin hand, that's yes, good memory. Pelvic tuck, yeah, a little pelvic tuck, yeah, but it is, you could describe it as a pelvic tilt as well. That's usually people talking about their low back hurting when they say pelvic tilt, but okay. Maybe get those shoulders back a little more, I'm seeing them. Yes, okay, see, I'm feeling you find that stability there. Good, hand pushing my hip. And then, but not all push, like bend your elbow, push and then bend your elbow down, relax. Push the hip and then elbow down. Good. A little more inside, just a little. Yes. You felt that. Right now, you're like, okay, structure. Right? There, you have it's controlling my hip there. Good. Okay. Now, this mannequin hand's getting pulled off. Okay. So, yeah. I imagine your mannequin showing off a watch. Okay. Hey, nice. I'm going to buy that mannequin watch. I don't know. All right, I'm making that up on the spot. But here, I can't pull your mannequin hand off your body. So, that's it. Now, all at once, you're gonna move that back just an inch. Yeah, all at once, you're gonna go push that down. You're gonna push this down, leverage here, and you're gonna do that pelvic engagement there, right? So all at the same time. Boom. Go ahead, break the guard. Yes. Okay. And it can be over time, like when I did it, you saw nothing. Right, just open, okay? I want it to be subtle, right? Like, so, and we'll go into like, okay, now I'm passing with it in a second, okay? Yes. Haha, see, that's a subtlety there. Open. Good, a little less with this. Let me do another one to you. You're gonna use that if you're passing, but again, we're just like, here's the thing. Then you're committing to that pass only. Okay, which I don't want this break to be only linked to this one guard pass for anyone. When you do a posture break in the guard, you can do all the guard passes, right? So, here. Right there. So. Right? And this is the guard pass we're doing today. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I just need to open the guard only, right? Like once I get that down, whatever you want, its possibilities are endless situation there, okay? So, but here will be the next step that we go to after that, right? So move your hips. So, posture and guard, posture by itself, really good posture will break someone's guard. The harder, they'll start trying things really hard, boom, guard's open, and then you didn't even have to, it kind of feels like that, I bet, when I'm doing it to you. Yeah. It's almost like you want to do something, and then you have to open your guard to do it, and I'm like, oh, that's fun, I need you to open your guard, thank you. All right, so, your turn again. Subtle, just.
More of just applying pressure, not really pushing with it. Just
it's more applying posture, not pressure. Okay. The posture is the pressure.
okay? It's not a big push here. It's everything. It's your hips, it's your knee pinch, all at once. Destruct my guard, like wishbone me. This is gonna go this way, this is gonna go this way. Expand, and then like push yourself back a little bit too as you do all this. Go. Yeah, see, that was less subtle there. Earlier it was like all here, right? And if it's all here, then like, well, where are you fighting with elsewhere? I want my defenses to protect as many places as they can. If I put all my energy here, so that's way better. I feel like. Okay, and again, it's just push everything. Expand the space in my guard. There you go. You got more of the back end to it there, right? Very good. Now, from here, you just push this down. Now, come over with this knee. Okay, now, stay low. Come down over my hip here. Okay, and then just put this hand in my bicep. Yes. See how that's, yeah, and just kind of your elbow stays down. Yes, in alignment with that knee. Okay, now let's do a check here. Okay, see if you pass the test. Don't do anything. I'll know on camera if you did something. Did you move that thing?
Before you.
You knew you were messing up. Go back. So, put it back where it was. But here's the thing. Next class, we learn where this comes in. You're gonna make this mistake. It's okay. It's not even necessarily a mistake if you know what to do, right? But like when we come down, we'll see off this next takedown next class and the guard pass. You're gonna do this sometimes, and we just go into the number 2 guard pass when that happens. It's not that big of a deal, okay? So, but put your feet together. We call it, say, prayer feet. This is a common way people describe this, okay? So from here, what I want you to do is have good connection here, monitor my hips, and follow me. You gotta be able to maintain this sort of quarter guard position, right? I can't do anything. Now, move this knee to the side, right? Yeah, just like a windshield wiper, like let go of this one and move that one, yes. Good, now put the knee next to my hip. This one, no, we'll go back out with that one. And you gotta pass the guard with this one. Yes, now move my hips when you do this. Move my hips out of the way a little bit. Yes, see now my knees are facing this way. My lower body's controlled. Now I can take my upper body. Go ahead, arm side now. Yes. Yes. Okay, and let's just review our retention here, okay? So if I bridge in, you round your spine. If I go away, you curve your spine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, right? I have to rely on squeezing me super tight. And you see that's a thing, isn't it? Like if you do everything correctly, you understand that part now, right? So it's like, oh, I didn't do anything, but you felt great. I got tired doing that. So, good. Now,
Where is your head when you're in that windshield wiper?
here, I'll show you. I'm gonna do one more. Okay, so, boom. Here, push this down. Boom. Okay. And I'll go over some details for when I start to climb up the body. Okay, so that's a good question. Because ultimately, the only thing you have is this shoulder. So I'm here, and like when I was under you, all I could do is kind of here, and really like grab around the head stuff, whatever. Like nothing was gonna work, like I couldn't really do anything with that. You know, they might do something like this, and when it comes to that, I can switch to here if I want. What I want to do though is monitor these hips. Okay, so if I go to the upper body too soon, I won't have your hips anymore, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass in here and then kind of come diagonally, not diagonally, up your body, okay? And then here, boom, right? You try and turn in, round spine, try and turn away, curved spine. Yeah. Simple. Okay?
break. Oh yeah, you kind of found it there right out the gate.
Didn't mean to.
All right, was it a total accident like that ankle lock earlier? All right, was that right? Yeah, it was, good. Go. Boom, yes. Control the hips. Bicep. Right, and then stay here. So here, if this bothers you, like, cause hey, I'm here to tell you, you ever had your eardrum perforated?
I think so.
I have. It sucks. I had from somebody's foot hit it. Anyway, but that right there, you've kind of probably felt that suction in your ear when I did that just lightly, because I did. Right? It's just like it doesn't take anything at all. So turn your head the other direction. So if there's strikes, right? And then a little bit here. So like I could still come around, but like I don't have as much, much arc to it. Right? Here now I guess you gotta worry about me finding your ear and pulling it off, right? But here's the thing. Just in like in all positions, turn your head back this way, it's fine. Right, this here. We say this about bass. A good bass is a mobile bass, right? So if you're doing a good job here, here, and here, right? And I go to hit your head, turn your head, right? Right? I go to grab your ear, you turn it, right? And here's the thing, you're not gonna hang out here. This is an intermediary position. We're finding it and we're learning how to control it so we can control it during a little exchange like this and then pass the guard, okay? So go ahead and move past the guard. Yes, good. Nice, okay? Now, one more little piece of control on that pass. Look how my body is. Diagonally, okay? So when I go to pass, all right, and I'm here, and I get your knees away a little bit, watch what I'm gonna do here. I went in that diagonal plane upward. Then I'm gonna turn. So I'll come off that bicep. Like, look how my head's up falling over your shoulder now. And then here. And see how I went from having your knees facing away to your arm inside here? Good control. Okay? One more time, your turn. Good. Good. Go ahead and pass. Good. That knee, get my knees. Yes. Now, from here, that's when you're going to come upward over this shoulder. Oh, yes. Now, go under my head and turn that corner. Yes. Hands are good there at the end. Nice. All right. So that's the total goal, man. We don't want to just like, we see this in kids' classes. I'm like, hey, I'm pass the guard, put them in timeout. And they pass the guard, but they never really they'll have learned like the side mount control, and like they know that, but then they don't piece it. Okay, I want you to do that side mount control when you pass the guard. Get that same thing, because here's the thing, if you pass someone's guard for real, even if they don't know what guard is, they're gonna try and stop you. They're gonna try and prevent anything further from happening, grabbing your head, whatever. And you gotta be able to deal with that, because if they do a big explosive movement and your head gets going over and now you're fighting a different battle, okay? And things like that will happen. It's not a big deal. Jiu-Jitsu's our armor, that when shit like that happens, no big deal, okay? All right, so that's round kick defense, posture and guard, and the windshield wiper pass. Good work.